I think one day I want to open an ice cream shop.
Oh,
and
really?
I don't want to hire somebody to scoop the ice cream. I want to scoop the ice cream. I give you $10,000, a nonprofit, you directly. I know exactly what percentage of my wealth is $10,000. But if I give you an hour and a half of my time and I die tomorrow, you had one of the most precious things from me. I always want to try to make a win-win-win situation. That's what I always want to try to make. And I think that is really what I pulled away from my college year, is that one experience of how do I always create you win, I win, and everybody else wins when I do something, right?
Mm-hmm. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Unfiltered Exchange, episode 3, and today I'm interviewing Mr. Jason Ting, who is a wealth management advisor at Merrill Lynch. Mr. Ting, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me here tonight.
Alright, so let's get started with our first question. So, Mr. Ting, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself and how your experience growing up?
Sure. I grew up in San Mateo, born and raised San Mateo, California. And funny enough, I know where you went to school for elementary school at the Carrier School in San Mateo, and I went there too. The same. That's how you know me, through my daughter. I've been here pretty much all my life. My dad and my mom were very close, and we traveled a lot together. I have an older sister and then an older brother. So it's my sister, my brother, myself, in that order. As a child, I think because my sister and brother are 2 years apart, and then I'm 4 years apart from my brother, I was not as academic as they are, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, who knows, right? I can remember them being valedictorians, getting straight A's, and when it came to me, instead of reading to me every night, I remember clearly my dad said, here's a tennis racket, here's a basketball, go have at it. So I played a lot of sports growing up as a kid. Went to Crocker Middle School in Hillsborough, and then went to Burlingame High School. After that, down to UC San Diego for 4 years, and right back at home in San Mateo, Burlingame.
Nice. Tell me about your elementary school life and what the Carey School was like.
It was great. It was a great school. Really small classes, and I appreciated that the teachers and the staff, they were focused on not just the core curriculum, even back then, of us getting to know each other better, socializing us, having us work on projects as teams, very team-oriented. I think that helped a lot later in life. Of course, that's only kindergarten through 5th grade, so a lot of developments and changes happen over time, right?
Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about your life in middle school.
Middle school life. Let's think about that. So 6th, 7th, 8th grade at Crocker Middle School. All I remember really is tennis. That's when I really started picking up tennis, I think around 5th grade summer. And I would play tennis literally 3 hours a day, every day. And my goal of being number one on the tennis team by 8th grade year is all I had in mind. And so I would say I was the kid in the school that would wear those shirts that say, tennis is life, I love tennis, things like that. So that was very big. I also did a lot for leadership in the school around that time too. So I was part of the class, the student body for the class, helping with the different clubs on campus and whatnot. That's for the most part what I remember about middle school life. I think I did start pranking people around that age, and that's when prankings and crank calls and all that started, and that was fairly popular when I was a kid. Probably not okay anymore.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, and this kind of affects my life today, in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, Crocker Middle School actually had pickleball.
Oh, really?
So pickleball was a thing then, and I remember clearly doing pretty well in winning a few trophies. And I only remember winning these trophies because about 2 years ago when I was cleaning out my garage, I was cleaning out my basketball and tennis trophies, and I saw pickleball trophies. I said, okay, these I take a photo of them, and then they got to go. I'll show you a photo of them later.
Okay. So did you play pickleball throughout high school as well?
I didn't. It just stopped. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, there was pickleball, and the high school continued on with my tennis life, my tennis career. And I think in high school at Burlingame High, I got much more involved with leadership. I was part of the group that was I was the liaison, actually, from the associated student body to every single club on campus.
Oh.
So I would go to the different ethnic clubs or interest clubs, and I'd find out what all of them are doing and come back and report back. So I kind of got to know a lot of people during my time at Burlingame High. I also emceed their rallies and events too. So I think that was my first time being I guess I've always been fairly social, but really being outspoken in front of a lot of people and whatnot, and giving some energy to the group and the crowd. So it was fun. Yeah, and I think a lot of what I did back then still resonates throughout my life today.
And back then, did you know that you wanted to go into wealth management?
Actually, I did. So as a kid growing up, I think as young as 2nd grade, they asked everybody, what do you want to do? And, a lot of the kids in my class, they said, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a firefighter, police officer. And back then, they didn't call us wealth managers, they called us stockbrokers. So I said, I want to be a stockbroker as early as 2nd grade. So I think my dad, my late father, who started at Merrill Lynch in 1971, I don't know if you can say brainwashed, but maybe brainwashed my sister, my brother, and myself all to start our careers at Merrill Lynch. So he was 3 for 3. Jennifer, she started at Merrill Lynch, moved to HSBC, moved to JP Morgan. My brother started at Merrill Lynch, and I started at Merrill Lynch, all of us at age 22. So I think there was something there. If I think really deeply about it, maybe he had us wear like Merrill Lynch logoed clothing growing up as kids. That could have been part of it.
And how did he get into Merrill Lynch? Did he create the company? What's his story?
No, not at all. He actually was getting his PhD in zoology and going to be a doctor, like his dad. I think his dad and his grandfather were all traditional Chinese medicine doctors, and all of his cousins were also doctors. And it was literally at his graduation dinner at Berkeley where the head of Haas Business School tapped him on the shoulder and said, I think you're not cut out to be a doctor, but you're cut out to be in finance. Oh. So he gave him a direct entry and direct acceptance into the Haas Business School. And that's when my dad said he had the most awkward graduation dinner somebody could have, and then accepted his enrollment into Haas and continued from there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a real story.
Yeah.
So he went to...
So where did your dad grow up?
So my dad was born in Shanghai, but as a very young adult, 2-3 years old or so, came over to Chinatown, San Francisco. That's where his dad practiced medicine. And my dad grew up very lower middle to lower class in terms of economic wealth. His dad was famous as a doctor, but he was also known for providing free care and services if you came to see him and you were dressed poorly. So he would basically see people, take care of them, but not charge them. And then my dad, and this was a loft in San Francisco, so he would see patients upstairs and they lived downstairs, and my dad would be downstairs selling herbs to these patients that came in to make money for the family. So that was maybe that's how he got his start in business, right, and economics, and eventually start at Merrill Lynch. Yeah.
So after you went to Burlingame High School, you went to UC San Diego. So can you tell me a little bit about your college life?
Yeah, UC San Diego, I finally stopped playing tennis. So I did coach one of the players on the tennis team while I was a freshman when I was there. But I did a lot with video production. My second and third year, I was what's called a resident advisor of these campuses, where you help get the students together, kind of show them ropes, tell them the rules, maybe enforce the rules, maybe not. And then my third and fourth year, I also ran the TV station at UC San Diego. So I was very interested in producing short films. I produced about 4 short films, and I was very interested in just the idea of editing video. Back when I did it, it was analog, and I don't know if you know what analog is.
I do not know that.
But we have to rewind and go forward and find different spots to cut in production. When I first started the first year, you have to cut film and glue it together. So
film,
real film.
Real film.
Yeah, real film. And then by my senior year, we were all digital. But it was interesting because I was in that transition phase. And now I won't say it's simple. There's still a lot of art to it, but it is a lot easier to utilize not just technology, but now artificial intelligence to create film from footage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know if this exists, you can say, hey, like AI, I'm doing a podcast with Jason Ting from Merrill Lynch of San Mateo. Here's the footage. Make my podcast. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it would make it, but that might happen in a few years. So at UC San Diego, I did a lot for the school in terms of just working for the school as a resident advisor, running the station. And I even taught a class. So I thought, I'm so interested in production that I think I could create a class. And the reason was because I needed people on my station and give students upper division school credit for working at WCTV, Warren College Television. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the college and the enrollment department, and I gave them my idea, and I created literally Communications 101 video production with Warren College Television. UC San Diego is divided into different colleges. Warren is one of the colleges. And I had 9 students enroll in my class, and that's how I ran the TV station. Because the TV station's an all-volunteer deal. Mm-hmm. I got paid to run the station, and I got free housing. But then whoever's helping in the station, I don't have any budget. So I said, well, if I create this class, then they're getting something out of it. They're getting units, and I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting people to help, and they're all learning what I know. And some of them are so good at video production already that they're also teaching me. So I think that was one of the things that was important for me to understand from my experience at UC San Diego by creating this class, that I always want to try to make a win-win-win situation. That's what I always want to try to make. And I think that is really what I pulled away from my college year, is that one experience of how do I always create you win, I win, and everybody else wins when I do something, right?
Mm-hmm. What did you major in the college?
Communications. Theater and video production. So the minors in theater and video production as well. So it's a communication honors major, though. Yeah.
That's like the mantra of your life, bro, is win, win, win.
Yeah.
I love that for
you.
I know, it really is, because you always create that ambiance of making everybody feel like they're a winner.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think connecting people is what I started to do in college, actually in high school. So I would say, you look back at your high school years, and it's not until you sit down with somebody who's doing a podcast where you can really have the time to think about, wow, that really created who I am today, right? Mm-hmm. So it's pretty interesting. So thank you for giving me this self-awareness as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
So in high school, you served as like the bridge between the student body and the administration. In college, you created classes for TV production. What next?
I think what I'm doing within my world of wealth management and volunteerism is continuing to bridge and connect people. I enjoy doing that. I feel that I'm in so many different circles of networks that, for example, this place here, the Home Team. We're here at the Home Team because I support an organization called ARIA, which is a real estate association for Asian Americans, like a professional real estate association. And there was an ARIA event here. And at the ARIA event, I met Jeff. And Jeff manages the home team. And I said to Jeff, you know what? It'd be cool if Martin Yan did a cooking demonstration here. And he said, yeah, that would be super cool. I said, what's the deal with this place? And he says, oh, we charge dues to be a member, $50, $500, or $1,500 to have an office, right? And if you're a member, you get access to this spot. And I said, well, why don't we drum up some membership by doing a cooking demonstration with Martin Yan and saying it's members only, or it's only for members who bring somebody else who will sign up as a member. It's only $50 for the whole year, I think, or maybe it's a month, I don't know, but be a member, right? And then so he liked that idea, and I went to Topgolf. I had Martin come over. I bridged some other people, and I told Martin, you got to go visit the home team. He visited the home team without me. I said, just go. Here's the address. Check it out. Go talk to Jeff. I connected them. Actually, Jeff was at Topgolf. I invited him last minute, and he came here, and he loved the place, and he's going to do something in November here at the home team. And then, your dad said, hey, my son wants to interview you, do a little podcast, right? I was like, well, I was at this place, and they have the podcast room in the center of the place, and I don't know what it's about because I've never done a podcast before. But if he's going to do a podcast, you should do it in a proper podcast room. So that's when you met Uncle Jeff for you, and he said, be happy to help you out, right? Mm-hmm. So I think making those connections as recent as the last 2 weeks is something that kind of happens for me almost on a daily basis, right? It definitely has helped my business and practice, but I do it because I enjoy it, right? And I think, I recently I hang out a lot with Mr. Gao Viet Nguyen. He owns a restaurant, Gao, and he always says, do what you love what you do, or love what you eat. And I feel like it is part of being successful, doing what you truly love. I love helping people. In wealth management, that's my job, is to create a financial plan, see where they are, see where they want to be, and figure out how to help them get there. Whether it's through me or telling them how to do it on their own, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to see people moving forward, getting better, getting healthier. Financial health, personal health, right? Mm-hmm. Health and wealth go along together. I mean, I've had very wealthy clients and family members pass away very young. So you say, we got to refocus our attention on your physical well-being too, right? I think that's one of the things that I've found I've enjoyed doing, is that connecting people and helping them.
So you graduated at UCSD with a communications degree. After that, did you just go straight to working with your dad? And after working with your dad, how did you find your niche?
Understood. I didn't go straight to Merrill Lynch after graduating. I was in San Diego. San Diego's beautiful. So I told my dad, I just want to hang out a little bit longer. I'll figure it out. I've been working, 3 out of the 4 years that I've been here. I've done a lot of things when I was in San Diego. I was a gift wrapper at Macy's. I detailed cars, tinted windows. I was a #1 cell phone sales rep at UC San Diego. So I know how to make money. I decided to be a conversation leader for the English language program during the summer and for right at the beginning of the year for about 6 months. And after 6 months and enjoying my time there, then my dad said, all right, did you have fun? I said, I had a blast. He said, time to get back and start working. Then I started working. When I joined Merrill Lynch, I have to say, I probably studied more to get my Series 6, Series 66, Series 7, Series 31 commodities license, insurance tests, my certifications, Certified Investment Management Analyst, Chartered Retirement Planning Counselors, California Special Needs Advisor. All those acronyms after my name, I probably studied more in those 6 months than I did for 4 years. Really? In order to get it. Yeah, because my dad said to me, you have one shot at this test called the Series 7. It's the securities licensing exam. So you don't make it, you go do something else. You're not part of the family business. And so, knock on wood, it took me a lot longer than most people, but I passed. And so that was good experience for me, learning how to actually study a lot. And so when you mention niche, I feel that I learned when I was 19 or 20, sometime I was doing a summer internship with my dad, that I wouldn't have a niche, or my niche would be nice people. And there's a very, very specific time where I was in a cubicle, and I was just head down working with the other intern, who's actually a good friend of mine from Crocker Middle School. And then I heard my dad kind of yelling, and he doesn't yell that often, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw his assistant like shedding tears, not happy. And I just like observed, right? Just wanted to see what's going on. And the way I heard the story and what had happened, my dad told me later, was one of his larger size clients, and this was in the late 90s, right? Had, I think it was about $5 or $6 million with my dad. He had talked rudely to his assistant and made her cry. And my dad picked up the phone and said, guess what? There's somebody here at Merrill Lynch who can service you better. At that time, and even today, $5-6 million is a lot. So you can imagine all the other advisors, or back then stockbrokers, in the office who would love to have that client. And right away, he transferred that client out of his book of business. And that said to me that it's not money, it's happiness. It's protecting your people, right? It's and I believe in that. Protecting my tribe, right? Making sure that they are, they know that they're the most important to me, right? Merrill Lynch actually has this saying, clients come first. Actually, a lot of firms have that saying, clients come first. And I can tell you that while I do believe clients should be a priority, I think personally, if my team comes first, then the clients will be best served. If my team that I work with knows I'm going to take good care of them, then they're going to do their best to take care of all of our clients, right? So I think as a leader, I have to acknowledge that I don't necessarily agree with a firm's motto exactly to the T, but indirectly I get there by taking care of my people. And I saw that and I experienced that as a summer intern from my dad. So when people were like, I only work with doctors, dentists, executives, family-owned businesses, I said, no, I work with really nice people that need my help. You could be a person that needs my help, but you're not nice, you're not a good client, right? So you could be a really nice person, but you don't need my help, you could do it on your own, and I can teach you how to do it, right? But if it's really nice people who need our help, that's who we work with. And I think that's why very rarely do friends become clients, but always clients become friends. Because when I'm interviewing them or they're interviewing me, we're both trying to figure out, do we like each other? Do we trust each other? That's it. They know I'm smart enough, and if I'm not smart enough, they know I have the resources to get the answers to the questions that they have, right? And so I think that is, if you want to call it a niche, you can say nice people. That's it. Nice people.
Your niche is just making people feel loved. No, and it's true. Like, people don't feel loved, right? People feel always like not taken advantage of, but everybody always wants something. It's a relationship, it's a give and take.
Yeah.
And most people are taking, they'll give a little bit, but they take it, and you just give, but it's unconditional love that you give.
Yeah.
And people, at least people like me, sense it, and they're like, they're drawn to it. They're like, this is amazing.
We don't expect anything back. It's I think again, knock on wood, good thing we're sitting on wood chairs. We've been very fortunate to honor our dad's legacy and kind of build his practice and get to a point where we can really just give back to the community at large. And so that's partially why I'm involved with so many philanthropic activities as well, right?
How did you get started with philanthropic work?
Yeah, so my work in the community started when I was 19 or 20, and I started helping the Make-A-Wish Foundation in San Diego. I wanted to create a concert in a lawn area. So we created something called Common Sense. Cents like money, like dollars and cents, right? And it was basically an outdoor event where you would bring all your coins and dump it into this huge glass box, and we donate all that money to Make-A-Wish Foundation. And it wasn't a ton of money; it was a couple $1,000, $2,000 to $3,000 in coins, right? But either local bands that wouldn't charge anything would come, and then they would perform outside on the lawn. So I liked events, so that's kind of how I got started. But I really started supporting the community when I came back to the Bay Area and started working for my dad. And he said, you're comfortable enough. You don't need to worry so much financially. You live under my house. I was like, but I can't live with you forever, Dad, right? I'm 22 years old. And so he said, you should do some activity that you enjoy, right? And I said, I love cars. So there's a classic car show in Hillsborough called the Hillsborough Concours d'Elegance. And so my dad said to me, and I always remember, there's certain times that he'll say something, and I've always remembered that. He said to me directly, he said, boy, you don't have any money, so go give your time. So go give your time, right? Mm-hmm. And then he taught me that my time is more important than money, right? Mm-hmm. If I give you $10,000, a nonprofit, you directly, I know exactly what percentage of my wealth is $10,000. But if I give you an hour and a half of my time and I die tomorrow, you had one of the most precious things from me, mm-hmm. right? And we don't know when we're going to die, right? And so that I felt really inspired to volunteer, knowing that I had no dough, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, this is good. So I started volunteering. I started organizing the Concours d'Elegance, help with selection committee, help with their registration and check-in, until I think 6 or 7 years later, I chaired the 50th anniversary for the Concours, and took a leadership role. And from there, I've just been giving my time, and now that I make a little more money, I can give a little dollars on top of my time. But even if I give money, of course the organization appreciates it. I still tell them, you should appreciate my time and my advice more than my money, because my time with you can lead to more money if I give you the right ideas and we all execute together, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I was definitely inspired by my dad. He would give money, not so much time, but he would tell me that's what you should do, right? And one of the reasons he was really pissed off I didn't get into Berkeley was he's a big Berkeley donor and sponsor.
Your brother went, right?
My brother will tell you, in his own words, we're a Cal family. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. Except for Jason. He couldn't get into Cal. But that's okay. We still love him. That's exactly what I hear from my brother all the time. Yeah.
You were named on Wall Street's top 40 advisors under 40 and repeatedly to Forbes' best in-state wealth advisors list. What do those honors mean to you, and how do you stay grounded?
I feel I was very happy when we first got honored and nominated. So I called him. I said, how did this happen? Actually, I didn't even know, right? It's part assets, but the better thing about Forbes is they will randomly interview people in our industry, and they work with our company, and they look at records, and they look at how we do planning for clients. And so I felt kind of very satisfied that it wasn't just a numbers game, but it was the depth of service I provide to my clients. Mm-hmm. And in terms of staying grounded, the first time I was recognized, I was like floating in air thinking, dude, this is crazy, it's wild. A 40 under 40 list? No way. Multiple years in a row. And then I turned 40, and then they cut me from the list because I wasn't under 40, right? So that helped me stay grounded right away. So I think I hit that milestone first. I think when I was 37, 38, 39, I hit it 3 years in a row. And then at age 40, I was like, why did I hit it? And they said, dude, you're too old now. So that, I think after that experience, I was just like, that was fun. It was cool. And then now when we keep getting best of state and we keep climbing the rankings, I look at it as a goal for our team. And I say, if we are doing these things best in state, 2025 this year, we got very lucky, little luck, a lot of skill, little of both. We were called the best wealth managers in San Mateo County, right? There was like a vote that went out and 40,000 people voted, and we kind of claimed that award. But we recognize all the wealth managers who were even nominated are all fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. So I think within my industry and line of business, showing support for the others around us is really what helps too, right? When you aren't competing but you're providing guidance for others, I think in a way that makes you not a better person necessarily, but it makes you stronger at what you do. You're more confident at what you do. Like if I've given talks for Merrill Lynch, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll go to St. Louis, or I'll go to Florida, or I'll go to Arizona, and I'll lead a breakout session, or I'll go to the Forbes conference and I'll do main stage, right? I'm sharing my best secrets with all of my quote unquote competitors, but it's okay because I want everybody to get better in our industry, right? I want our industry to succeed because that's what's going to make us succeed as a team the most. If people understand where the value is in having a wealth manager, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think staying grounded really comes back to thinking about it more as an opportunity to continuously improve, right? My dad wouldn't say it to me because he just made me play basketball and tennis, but he said it to my sister and brother. You're number 14. Why aren't you number 1? so I would always hear say that to them, right? You got an A. Why did you get an A+, right? Mm-hmm. Well, how are you going to be number 1? You just continue to do what you do, and provide great advice and guidance, and respect people. It's not super difficult actually. There's a lot of hustle, and people ask like, how do you guys get where you are? I'm like, it's just a lot of hard work. Yeah. Be nice, be honest, work your tail off, and sometimes you're in the right place, the right time. That part's luck. You can't control that, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm on an airplane sitting next to my next client, well, I can control having a conversation, but I can't control that I was sitting there with that client, right? And mm-hmm. I do have 2 clients that I met sitting on a flight.
Oh, really?
Right? And so, yeah, that's the luck part, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You haven't really mentioned your mom in this conversation, so what was her role in your life, and how is she?
My mom was the one who showed us how to enjoy life. She says, go travel the world, and we all live vicariously through my mom today. I think she just got back from Paris recently, COVID and all, but she's doing fine. But she's enjoying her travels. I think she provides the balance to just hard work. So she's not a party girl by all means. She was a real estate agent, interior designer, had her own clothing store. She's done a ton. Actually worked at my grand auntie's travel agency for years. And still, at age 76, is still a travel agent. She still keeps her IATA number, which is like your agent number.
Do people still use travel agents now?
They do for cruises. They do for corporate deals. But that's what happened. When the internet boomed, when I was kind of graduating college, right? My mom would not get as many people booking through her. So she said, let's just sell the business. And then the new industry came, the cruise industry. And then that's when they make money there, right? So mm-hmm. she hustled all her life. But, for a living, she traveled because she was a travel agent for so long. She said, I want to give my clients the best experience. So if they're going to go to Croatia, I'm going to go to Croatia the year before. And I'm going to go meet all the locals, take all the photos, go see all the sites that they need to go to. And I'm there the same month, a year before. And then I'm going to tell them exactly where to go. So she was like, and of course it costs a lot of money to do that. Mm-hmm. So whether she was profitable or not, that didn't matter. But she was providing the best service because she was on the ground. She had like a list of, not on her phone, but like a pen and paper list of all the drivers in all the cities around the world. So if her clients landed somewhere, she could say, here's the phone number for Jay in Korea. Give him a call, he'll drive you around. Just mention Evelyn Ting. So she's also probably a big reason why my brother and my sister and myself, we are connectors. Because my mom is very much a connector still today. Yeah, so she's been a huge inspiration in our life. Our dad worked very hard. Our mom played very hard. I like to say we work hard and play hard. So it's a very good balance.
I love how you and your siblings are really close. Have you always been that close?
I think having the oldest sister and then 2 younger brothers made us very close, because when we were younger, sorry Jennifer, I'll just say this on Nathan's podcast, she used to beat us up. So my brother and I became tight as you could be because we needed to protect ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. From the older sister with long nails that if you did something wrong or pissed her off, we just dig right into you until you bled. So that's my brother and I grew up very close. We shared a room together, and my sister had her own room. And then I think as we got older, we appreciated our sister so much for bringing us so close that we are all just kind of naturally close. I mean, we will randomly video call each other all the time just to check in to see how we're doing.
And are they both still in the Bay Area?
My brother works with me at Merrill Lynch. He's in town, very close by. And then my sister lives in Hong Kong. She moved to Hong Kong a couple decades ago. But even so, we talk to her, late nights, early mornings and whatnot. Mm. Yeah. But yeah, we're definitely very close. And I don't know if it was our parents' influence, but I would credit my sister for us being so close as siblings, for sure.
So where do you see yourself in the next few years? So what's next?
I love what I do, just like Mr. Gao would say. So I'm going to keep doing what I do as a wealth manager. I love investing in people and projects. So I always look for opportunities to, if I hear a good idea or I meet somebody who is very inspirational, I always want to look at how I can be involved. So I'll continue to invest in people and projects. I love learning. I think the best wealth managers who are 10 times better than me, either in rankings or just in my own gut feeling, the one thing that's very common about them is that they're always learning. They're always willing to say, I don't know this, but I want to learn it. And after I learn it, I want to teach it to others. And so we try to continue to do that. Obviously, I want my daughter to grow up healthy and wise and make good decisions in life. And she has been, and she's doing great. She's musically talented. So I want her to have the opportunity at anything she wants to do around music or not, and support her and really keep that going. Give her the kind of support that my parents gave me. I think that's really important. And I think one day I want to open an ice cream shop. Oh, and really? I don't want to hire somebody to scoop the ice cream. I want to scoop the ice cream. So there's going to be a day where, maybe you'll be in your 40s and I'll be in my 70s, and you're going to walk down Burlingame Avenue. Salt and Straw won't be anymore. It'll be some other ice cream shop, maybe mine. And you're going to pull up and it'll be an old Chinese man scooping ice cream. And I'll say, Nathan, what's up? It's Uncle Jason. The reason I want to scoop ice cream is because I like making people happy. I live off of it. I know I'm extroverted, but when I am at an event that I planned or put together, assembled, connected people, and I see people from far away connecting, that brings me so much energy, more than like 10 shots of espresso, And so I feel like if I were to do something, it would be to scoop ice cream and just look how happy people are when I hand them the ice cream. Maybe I just start by working somewhere. Maybe I'll do a summer job at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ting, and for those who don't know, at the end of my podcast, I do this segment called Nate's 8,
Okay.
where I'll ask you 8 rapid-fire questions,
Okay.
and you answer them off the top of your head.
Just like quick.
Just quick, like
Okay.
the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
All right, so number 1. If you could have dinner with anyone, past, present, or future, who would it be?
Julia Roberts.
And why's that?
I love Pretty Woman. I love the movie Pretty Woman. I was in Beverly Hills recently, and I was just humming the Pretty Woman song while I was walking down Rodeo. That's pretty much it.
What was
Julia Roberts, if you're listening to Nate's podcast.
What was the last book that you read?
I'm currently reading Untangled.
Untangled. And what's that about?
It's a book about adolescent girls growing up. A book so I can understand my daughter better.
What is your dream car, and have you driven it yet?
Dream car. The Earth Roamer. I
Like
just
the
saw it.
RV?
It's a huge, yeah.
Yeah,
Just because
yeah.
I just saw it. One of my friends was in an Earth Roamer, at Roamer, and it just was unbelievable. So yeah, I could go out there and maybe I could attach an ice cream shop to the back and go around and give people free ice cream. Yeah.
What is your favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? I don't really watch sports, but I have a good friend who's very involved with the Warriors, both Brandon Schneider and Franco Finn. And I grew up with Brandon. He went to Crocker Middle School with me, and Franco's a good buddy I hang out with all the time. And I have to say, the Golden State Warriors.
What's your favorite food?
Chicken pot pie.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place in the world?
A favorite place in the world? Oh my gosh, there's so many places. I would say Tahiti.
Tahiti.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and say something to your younger self, what would you tell him?
This is a quick question. I would say, keep doing what you're doing. You'll get there.
One. What advice do you have for the future generation?
For the future generation, I would say find what you enjoy doing. Hopefully it makes money, and keep doing that, and you'll live a healthier and happier life. You could do something just to make money and not be as happy, but just realize at some point you want to get to that stage where you're really doing what you love.
One question. Do you ever want to utilize, or do you still utilize your love for film that you graduated with at all? I mean, other than you film all the time on Instagram, do you ever do filming to kind of in your world now? Or do you want to?
I follow Viet around. and I film other influencers. I go around with Washington Ho and Viet, and I film and Scott Lee, and I film them for them. Yeah. I was in New York with Mr. Gao, and he's like, here's the camera. Oh, you're good at this. Here's the camera. You're good at this. I don't even know if he realizes I have a background in it. Yeah. So when it comes to my minor film video production, I don't know if I want to do something in the future around film, but I like this idea of what you're doing podcasts. And I can't do it because I work for a large company, so I can't run my own podcast. But maybe one day I'll do something where the things I talked about on the main stage at my conferences, I'll put them all together in film and just provide it for the audience of folks who are industry related, who are interested in wealth management. And then I'll hire you, and if you enjoy doing this, you make a little money on the side doing this too.
Okay, quick question, like not part of Nate's 8, but you did car detailing for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What's the coolest car you detailed?
A Lamborghini, for sure.
Really?
I mean, I didn't even remember if it was a Lamborghini, like a Countach or whatever. It was just like a Lambo, a white Lambo with black wheels. I just remember that very clearly. I detailed it, and it was like an early version of PPF, which is like a paint protection called Clear Bra. I just put like a bra on the front where, bugs and rock chips won't damage the paint. Yeah.
What's the coolest, like other than that, the Land Rover, what's the coolest car you drove? You had that.
Coolest car I've driven? I think my S-Class Brabus.
What is that?
It's there's aftermarket companies that fix up cars, like Dynan I think does BMW, and Brabus does Mercedes. And so I had an S-Class with 22-inch wheels, blacked out everything.
Bro, what was the car that you drove? You picked me up? The Rolls.
Oh, the Rolls?
Yeah, the Rolls that
Which
you brought.
Rolls?
Yeah,
Wait,
which
I
Rolls? I love it.
I have a... Spectre.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not the one that you came to my house with.
Green?
Yeah, the green.
Oh, yeah. So recently, if we want to talk about cars, I was given the opportunity to drive for a weekend a Rolls-Royce Spectre, which is Rolls-Royce's first electric car. That was super fun. I like how the doors open backwards, the suicide doors on the car. And it's a huge tank of a car, but powered by a battery. It goes lightning fast. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Mr. Ting, it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.